Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Returning Home podcast, hosted by yours truly, Liem. And in today's episode, we're going to be diving deep into a topic that I'm personally so excited about that I haven't really shared much about before. I have mentioned it briefly in some videos, but today I want to talk about life outside of this planet. Life outside Earth, in other words, extraterrestrial life, or interdimensional life, or in the humanity's way of saying it, aliens. Now, before you're going to click away this video and think that this young woman who is recording this podcast is absolutely crazy and has absolutely lost her mind, I want you to say that I want to tell you that I am recording this video not because I'm going to preach things that I think that you should believe, or in other words, better said, I'm recording this video to allow you to hopefully open up your mind to things that you might have never ever thought about before or allowed yourself to think about, and to perhaps discover things within yourself that you didn't even know that existed. Because ultimately, I believe that a lot of people who are following me originate not from this planet. Now, if that isn't intriguing, then I don't know what is. I'm very excited to jump into this video, into this episode. So without further ado, let's hop right in today's episode. So like I was saying, the intention of this video is not for me to say, hey, this is the absolute truth. Myself, I'm also still learning a lot, expanding a lot, and I believe everyone who is showing up on the internet is. However, my intention for this video is for you to explore different parts of yourselves, different parts of our reality, and to see if there's maybe something that resonates deeply with you, a part that you might have never visited before. So first, I'll share with you how I awakened to extraterrestrial life, and this might help you to relate, and then I will dive into the universe, the different dimensions, and the kind of species that in my belief are there, and then I will dive into how this could relate to you and your origins. So first, my journey, my spiritual awakening. The first things that I awakened to when I started off my spiritual awakening journey was actually extraterrestrial life. Now, as a child, I have always assumed that there is life within our universe outside of our planet. Because in my thought, as this little girl that I was, I always thought, how kind of egocentric would it be for humans to say that if we know that we live in an infinite universe of which we have not discovered even a tiny percentage, how egocentric would it be to say that within this infinite universe we would be the only species within our universe that exist? To me, that was similar to saying in the earlier ages within the medieval times, saying that the earth is the center of the universe. And I clearly remember this from when I was a little child. And so I don't think I ever really discussed this with other people. It was just something that I assumed until the day that I started to spiritually awaken and was introduced to some people and videos of people testimonials and even images of people who had spotted UFOs. Now, a lot of people don't know what UFO stand for before you're going to think, oh, this is all about the little green man and, life, the fantasy movies that we used to watch when we were little. A UFO literally stands for unidentified object. Now, what does that mean? It means that it's simply an object in our skies that we cannot explain. We cannot explain that phenomena. Now, there are people who actually study UFOs. There's an actual study which is called ufology, I believe. Ufology. I'm probably completely pronouncing this wrong, but that's not the point, and that's not the reason why I'm recording this video. So I started to hear about people who had actually seen with their own eyes some structures on the moon. This was actually coming from someone who was working with NASA and who had seen photos that he wasn't allowed to share with anyone. And he showed some of those photos. Not to me, but to someone who's very dear to my heart. And so when I heard that story and I heard this real experience, I started to think to myself, when I heard about this experience, it immediately clicked for me. I didn't need any other information for me to confirm that extraterrestrial life was real. Because in my mind, I just made all the connections. I'm like, okay, if there are structures on the moon, that for sure means that there is life outside of this planet, not only outside of this planet within our universe, but very close to us. And I started to discover more and more about extraterrestrial life actually being amongst us living within our planet, living outside of this planet. And so in my belief, and again, if you don't resonate with that, that means that this message right now is not for you at this time. But if it does resonate, I invite you to listen further because it's going to get more interesting and interesting as we're moving into this. So there are many different species, in my belief, again, and it's very real for me, on our planet, outside of our planet, and even amongst us. Okay, so the way that we can see this, and the way also the reason why we cannot see all of them is because they don't all live in the third dimensional frequency. Now, if you think about Nikola Tesla, I know I refer to him again and again and again because this is the basics of all. If you listen to Nikola Tesla, what he says is, if you want to understand the universe, think in terms of frequency, vibration, and energy. What does it mean? It means that all dimensions are these vibration bandwidths, which we call dimensions. So the higher the vibration, the higher the dimension we move into. So for example, just making this kind of practical, when people talk about the new earth, we're not talking about a quite literal new earth. We're talking about the new vibration that we're stepping into, a higher vibration. This is what ascension is. We move into higher vibration. So when you think about dimensions, and I know that there are many dimensions. Some people say 9, some people say 12. Maybe it's even beyond that. I don't know for sure. But what I know for sure is that there are so many mysteries within our universe that we don't even get to understand a tiny, tiny little bit within our lifetimes. And that's so interesting. That means that we can grow and evolve infinitely. And there's no rush into trying to understand everything because it is endless, it's infinite. And so within every single dimension, it means that, linking back to what I was saying earlier, so if we live in a third dimension and we vibrate on a certain level, does it make sense that we can perceive or not perceive higher dimensions because it is in a higher frequency? In order for us to perceive it, we need to raise our vibration so that we can actually see it. This is why I do believe that a lot of species who are living close to us cannot be seen because we literally can't. We can't perceive them with our physical eyes. And that's why a lot of channelers can. So there are a lot of channelers, a lot of intuitive people, probably also some of you, who are able to interact with these interdimensional beings consciously. And I'm saying consciously because you are probably unconsciously doing it all of the time. And I'm going to explain a little bit later why. So this is very, very interesting. And this is also why I believe that quantum physics is such a huge breakthrough within the world of spirituality and science, because it is actually the bridge where we can start to understand things that we couldn't understand before, because physics, just the physical, is limited. Metaphysical is unlimited. And this is how we bridge the two. So within these dimensions, there are a lot of interdimensional beings, a lot of different species. You can think of the lower plane of existence as, 3D dimensionals are humans or the humanoids. You have grays. When you move into higher dimensions, I believe there are the Pleiadians, the angels, the mantis beings, the insectoids, right? You have reptilian-like beings. And this is going to sound a little bit controversial, and it's going to, shake up your mind a little bit, and some of you might instantly connect with this information and resonate. Some of you might not. That's okay. I'm not here to say that this is exactly the way it's supposed to be, or this is how it is, this is the ultimate truth. I'm not saying that. But I do know that if we get to understand more about these kind of things, we can start to connect it with ourselves. Because we ourselves, some of us, and I think most of us, and most of you who are connected to my channel, might not be people who originate from Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, from planet Earth. I do believe, and I'm getting full body chills right now, is that, and it kind of makes me want to be emotional for some reason. I believe that a lot of you who are attracted to my channel come from or have volunteered from those higher dimensions to come to Earth to assist within the awakening on our planet right now. Some people refer to them as light workers, some people refer to them as starseeds, meaning that you come from the stars. And if you want to actually look at the term starseed really, really close, you cannot really say that people who originate from planet Earth aren't starseeds, because the planet Earth is part of the universe. It's part of spirituality. It's not something separate. Our planet is as much spiritual as any other planet. So, and I believe that if you're attracted to my content, it's because the things that I'm sharing will help you to activate some of that information, of that remembrance within you, so that you can tap into that inner knowing, that inner knowledge. I'm always saying this, and I'm not saying it often enough, but I cannot tell you anything that you don't already know deep down in your core. You know this. Deep down within, your soul resonates with this. If you're attracted to this, your soul knows. You know. And if that's your intuition, you can trust that. The reason that you come here and that you move through so many obstacles, so many challenges, and the feeling that you don't belong probably is because you are different. You don't necessarily come from here. You might have had many lifetimes here, but your soul has experienced many other dimensions and realities and wants to bring down that wisdom and anchor it in on our planet. And that means working your light. And that's the reason why I wanted to create this episode, because there's been a long time that I didn't want to share stuff like this because I thought that people weren't ready for it. I was scared about what people would say about me. But now I've come to a point where I truly stand solid in my truth more than before, and where I know that what I'm doing here and what I'm bringing to you here is because I'm here to serve you. I'm not here to be something for the world. I'm here, I'm doing this, I'm standing in my purpose to help you, to show you, hey, this is who you are in your core. This is what you came here to do. And you're not alone. You're here with many other people who are on that similar mission. And none of that was planned to say. I wasn't planning to say any of this. But this is how this information connects to you. This is how interdimensional life, extraterrestrial life is not foreign from you. It is you, and it's in you. And I think that that was enough for today. We've dived so deep into a lot of controversial yet beautiful topics. Let me know in the comments how this resonated with you, if it did. And let me know where you guys are tuning in from, because I'd love to get to know you. If you're tuning in from YouTube, don't forget to like this video, click that like button, and share this video with anyone who you think could benefit from this message right now. Maybe a loved one, maybe a family member, or maybe someone who you know who would resonate and who needs this kind of information and support right now within their journey in spiritual awakening. And if you're tuning in from Apple Podcasts or Spotify, be sure to give this podcast a 5-star review if you've liked this episode, and if you're liking this podcast. That would really help me to spread this message further to all the people in the world who are feeling alone on their journey, who need this kind of support. Thank you so much for doing that, and check out my new Lightworker merchandise, which you can find in the description below. Through wearing and buying this merchandise, you're supporting me to continue further on my journey, and you're spreading the message with the world of love, of light, of positivity, of healing. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. My words fall short for it. Please keep shining, keep growing, and keep being your beautiful self. I'm looking forward to see you in the next one. Bye for now.